On the scene, on the story with breaking news. News 9 starts now.
We start tonight with breaking news. Sirens screaming toward Bricktown for a water rescue on the canal. Oklahoma City firefighters telling our Kaylee Bourgeois at the scene 2 people were shocked in the water.
Lisa, firefighters say the real danger here wasn't the possibility of drowning. It was the combination of electricity and water, which caused shocks to both the victims.
Ruben Vallis is still shaking from what he saw tonight.
The first victim tripped over a light pole and went into the water, tried to get out, but he immediately got shocked because he grabbed over the electric wires from the lamp.
After one man fell into the Bricktown Canal, a Good Samaritan jumped in to help him.
Jumped halfway through the canal to get him, got him out, but unfortunately he as well got shocked by the cables because he grabbed out of the cables as well.
After the first victim got out, the fire department arrived and was able to pull out the second victim with a pole.
There was a lot of witnesses, which there's a lot of bystanders on scene, which they kind of pointed out that the second victim was there.
Witness video shows firefighters performing CPR on him.
CPR was on both.
The victims were taken to OU Med by EMSA.
Be careful when you're dealing with electricity and water. It's very, very dangerous.
That morning, one the many witnesses tonight won't soon forget.
It looked like fire with sparks in it. Sparks in the water. I've never seen nothing like this before.
OG&E arrived and shut off power in some sections of Bricktown here. The fire department tells us they might have divers go in and just look for wires underneath the canal for the rest of the evening. On the scene on the story in Bricktown, Kaylee Bourgeois, News 9.
All right, we hope they both make a speedy recovery. Now let's turn our attention to the weather. Justin, not too bad of an evening out there.
Yeah, a little warm, a little humid out there. Definitely not feeling like the last part of September. Is a high temperature today, 83 degrees. Our normal high temperature should be in the upper 70s. How about the low 90s out towards the northwest? And this is just the start of a warm stretch of weather for the work week as we're 70 degrees, the southeast wind at around 15. Check out the dew point, 66. So yeah, a little muggy out there as those winds out of the south, partly to mostly cloudy skies for the overnight temperatures right now. Upper 60s to low 70s really won't fall that much. So where is fall? A warm start of October with several days in the mid to possibly upper 80s. But there is some big changes ahead in the 9-day forecast that has the threat of severe weather, heavy rains, and maybe some cooler air behind that big system. Details coming up.
All right, we'll check back with you, Justin. Tonight, several elementary school students from Norman remain in a Texas hospital. The 5th graders from Cleveland Elementary School were hurt when their school bus rolled during a field trip Saturday. News 9's Deanne Stein is in the newsroom with the latest.
Of the 25 students on the bus, 5 remain hospitalized along with 2 staff members. And for the families that had to stay overnight, they say the outreach was, quote, amazing.
We will forever be grateful for the Lampasas community.
When tragedy hit for dozens of kids far from home, a community stepped in to help.
They really rallied around our kids and our teachers.
A field trip to SeaWorld was cut short for the 5th grade class at Cleveland Elementary School when the driver of the school bus carrying the girls lost control. The bus rolled, injuring all on board. A second bus carrying the boys was diverted to a nearby middle school.
The Lampasas Independent School District, the superintendent himself, came to a school.
Got a call from our sheriff shortly after that requested a place for a group of boy students to come. Our community has come together and provided food for the kids.
They had blankets and pillows and food, and they brought stuffed animals to comfort the kids.
The busload of boys returned to Norman early Sunday morning. Most of the girl students injured were treated and released to their parents.
The Norman Public School family and the Cleveland Cubs, that family, they're really close-knit, and we're all just sticking together during this time, providing as much support as we can to one another.
On Sunday afternoon, the district opened Cleveland Elementary School to parents as they returned home to pick up their kids' belongings.
Our hearts are going out to our own here in Norman.
Now the district will have additional counselors at the school on Monday to help students cope with what happened. In the newsroom, Deanne Stein, News 9.
And for many of the parents hundreds of miles away from their children at the time of that crash, they were just scrambling to get from Oklahoma to Texas. News 9's Kaylee Bourgeois spoke with one mother about her fear during all of this confusion.
It was the phone call Marquetta Autry never wanted to receive.
Her friend's mom called me and told me, first off, Caroline's okay, Alina's okay, but they were in an accident.
That accident was yesterday's Norman school bus crash in Texas.
Instantly, you think the worst, and although I was hearing her reassurance that they're okay, they're okay, they're okay, she said, "You asked me 5 times if she was okay."
5th grader Caroline Autry is okay, like most of her classmates.
There and that side, and there's a cut here on her hip.
Apart from some scrapes and bruises, Marquetta's daughter is recovering just fine, but she's shaken up from what happened.
When they started flipping, she said, "Mommy, I just grabbed onto the seat really tight and held on." And I think that might have been one of the only reasons why she didn't get as badly hurt as she did.
Marquetta went to Texas yesterday to pick up her daughter right away.
She kind of clung tight to me, and we made it about 45 minutes away to a hotel where we slept for the night.
Needless to say, the annual SeaWorld field trip, which Caroline and her friends were on their way to, is now canceled. Marquetta says while this isn't the school's fault, her whole family learned a valuable lesson.
I don't think that there was anything anyone could have done. I don't think there's anybody to blame. It's just a situation that's really unfortunate, freak accident. It can definitely happen to anyone at any moment, and life is short, and just to definitely hold your kids tight and don't take life for granted.
In Norman, Kaylee Bourgeois, News 9.
Great advice. Well, the disappearance of 17-year-old Molly Miller and her friend Colton Haynes remains a mystery, but their families refuse to give up hope. 5 years ago, the two vanished during a high-speed chase in Love County. Police say they were just passengers in that car when the driver, James Connipp, sped away from officers. Well, the car turned up the next day, but Miller and Haynes have never been found. Investigators say Knipp has been questioned in their disappearance, but only arrested for the chase. More recently, though, his uncle, former Love County Sheriff Joe Russell, was accused of impeding the investigation among a slew of other corruption charges. And with so many dramatic twists in this case, Miller's family is hoping to reignite search efforts next Saturday by holding a vigil in Love County. An Oklahoma family is asking for justice after they say someone went into their yard and brutally shot their dogs to death. Now, this happened near Northeast 150th and Anderson Road. This is a picture of the two dogs, Star and Samson. The family says they found the bodies of those dogs in their driveway, surrounded by about 15 shell casings. Oklahoma City police are now investigating. You can look for more on this one with News 9. An investigation is underway tonight after an Okmulgee County deputy shot and killed a suspect last night. The OSBI says 54-year-old Justin Snelson from Beggs led deputies on a short chase that started with a traffic stop. Investigators say he crashed and then got into a fight with the deputy. That's when the deputy shot and killed him. Neighbors say they were surprised by the gunshots.
I was in disbelief, and I was kind of scary at the same time because my kids started looking out the windows too, and I had to make sure that they were away from me because I don't know, there was a gun battle about to happen.
Well, Snelson died at the scene. The OSBI is now investigating.
Telling you the truth, the blitz is going to be great, even if it's a little late. I'll give you my take on Mike Gundy's handling of the press. Both the Cowboys and Sooners picked up wins while Kyler Murray gains Heisman momentum. Thunder unofficially begin, and Tiger and the Ryder Cuppers officially end.
Well, we saw a little sunshine here this afternoon, temperatures in the lower 80s, and we were not the only ones seeing the 80s. A lot of 80s across the nation, but some cold weather off towards the north. Does that make it into the 9-day forecast? Details coming up.
And we'll tell you where you can get a free flu shot starting tomorrow. Stick around.
On the scene, on the story, this is News 9.
Well, flu season is here, and the Oklahoma State Department of Health is offering free flu shots. Starting tomorrow, you can go to any county health department and get the vaccine at no cost to you and your family. Health leaders recommend anyone 6 months or older get this shot. The department predicts this flu season will be even worse than last year. 291 people died in Oklahoma, and nearly 5,000 others were hospitalized during last year's flu season. Well, crews will break ground on the new Omni Hotel in downtown Oklahoma City tomorrow morning. The $235 million investment will feature 605 guest rooms and 7 dining outlets. Well, this hotel is among the several ongoing projects happening to modernize Oklahoma City, like the incoming convention center, metro streetcars, and Scissortail Park. And tomorrow is the end of prohibition on High Point alcohol in Oklahoma as the new liquor laws roll out for here in just about an hour. Voters overwhelmingly approved State Question 792 in 2016. The constitutional amendment allows liquor stores to sell refrigerated beer, and it'll let grocery and convenience stores sell strong beer and wine. Well, some are pretty happy about the changes.
We're excited. Oklahoma now is going to be progressive, and prohibition is officially over in the great state of Oklahoma.
Well, be sure to tune into News 9 this morning. Our Grant Herms will be out as stores open up for business on this historic occasion. Justin.
Well, we've seen plenty of clouds around here for the morning hours, but a little bit of afternoon sunshine, and that trend will continue as we head into the work week. But we are watching a storm system out in the desert southwest and how that'll affect our weather later on. Details coming up.